Well, here we sit again. More people attacking Star Wars theory. I don't know the guy. I don't know him. I've never even talked to the guy. And yet I sit here finding myself kind of feeling bad for him. He is the biggest Star Wars YouTuber there is. And for the past number of months, almost a year at this point, he's been attacked by the fandom which he creates content for. And it is baffling to me that this continues to happen. He doesn't like the same things that the entire fandom likes. There's other people within the fandom that doesn't like the things the entire fandom likes. This whole idea that in fandoms today that everybody must like the same thing, or that everything is, has to be one way, is just absurd. I've come to this realization in life that, look, not everything is made for everybody. I also agree and understand that, look, sometimes, studios screw up. The Acolyte was undeniably a disaster. It was a disaster of a project. It should never have been made. Besides all of the woke bullcrap that they put in that show, you take all that out, it is still a disaster of a show. From acting, from writing, from production design, from VFX, everything about that show is a disaster. Sure, there may be people that enjoyed it. Good for you. I'm glad you enjoyed it. You can still enjoy that while others don't enjoy it. That is okay. I will never sit there and say, you can't enjoy this. But to sit there and say, he's wrong because he didn't enjoy it, because his opinions on it are invalid because he doesn't like it, that is ridiculous. And that is what is happening within the Star Wars fandom. Star Wars Theory did not like the Acolyte. And you have one section of the Star Wars fandom who blew up from this. One in particular person is this guy right over on X. And he has lost his godforsaken mind over the last few months because of this. Sure, we saw the attacks by Star Wars Explained on other YouTubers, and as well as Star Wars Theory. And Star Wars Theory came out, showed receipts, and did what any respectable person would do, defending his name when somebody attacks you. Very respectable. But now we have this guy who came out of nowhere over the last year on X. And let me tell you, some of his posts are absolutely absurd, because all he does is praise Star Wars and even the most ridiculous parts of Star Wars. And there's even times when I'm like, this can't be a real person. Though obviously he is a real person. But there are parts and times when I'm like, he's praising the worst parts of Star Wars. It is absurd. But again, if it's his opinion, if he truly feels this way about it, that's his prerogative. That's fine. But now he is attacking Star Wars Theory for why? Why does he feel like he has to do this? It's because he's looking for clout. It's because he's jealous of Star Wars Theory. He's jealous of the notoriety, the fame that Star Wars Theory has, I should say. The fame that he has. So he goes, it's really funny how a certain Star Wars YouTuber thinks he's doing no wrong and isn't spewing hate, yet almost everyone else on the internet outside of his following is calling him out for the same problematic behavior every single week. Well, here's the thing. It's not everyone else on the internet. No, it's your little group of followers, your little group of same mind, thinking people here. It's mostly the woke culture, yes, but it's these people who thought that the Acolyte was good. It's these people who think that Star Wars can do no wrong when you see something like the Acolyte, when you see something like Obi-Wan Kenobi, two shows that were terrible shows. who think that The Rise of Skywalker is good, who thinks The Last Jedi is unbelievably amazing. It's those people who are sitting there thinking that those are good, who think that Star Wars Theory is spewing hate because he did not like them, because he's going to call out the issues with Star Wars. And then he stands up for himself when people start to call him out and say that he's toxic. That's the problem. But the greatest thing is, in his own thread, people call him out for it. You know, you have Scuba Steve here. He's not spewing hate. I feel like you're just doing this for clicks. Because it's exactly what is happening. This is the problem that we're seeing in the Star Wars fandom. Now, I talk about the Snyderverse fandom in DC all the time. And I talk about them specifically because that fandom has become so toxic. But the other fandom that is also very, very toxic is the Star Wars fandom. And it's not the entire fandom, just like it's not the entire Snyderverse fandom. I know I can get ahead of myself sometimes and over-exaggerate things. It's not the entire Star Wars fandom that's toxic, but there is a section of the fandom that is. And what side of the fence is the toxic side? Well, you know, you have someone like Kyle Katarn here, Katarn94729, Kyle, says, you assholes just can't stop playing the victim. It's so pathetic. Again, that's exactly it. This Jacob is playing victim. He has no reason to jump in on this. His ex is always about just talking about how great The Rise of Skywalker is, how great The Last Jedi is, how great terrible moments in Star Wars are. That's your lane. Stay in your lane. There's no reason to talk about Star Wars Theory. Star Wars Theory doesn't talk about you. He doesn't say anything about you. He doesn't mention you. He doesn't say anything about... Why mention him? Stay in your lane. If you want to talk about the positivity about crappy Star Wars movies and crappy Star Wars shows, stay in your lane. That's what you want to do? Go do it. If you want to get your free magnets and patches and swag from Lucasfilm today from Disney, stay in your lane. Do what you want to do. But there's no reason to attack Star Wars Theory. This is what's causing the divide within the Star Wars fandom. It's not the people like Geeks and Gamers. It's not the Ryan Kinnells. It's not the Star Wars Theories. It's these people here who are doing this. This is what is causing the divide. Stay in your lane. Like what you like. If the Acolyte was so good, the Geeks and Gamers, the Ryan Kinnells, the Nerdrotics, what they would have said wouldn't have mattered if the Acolyte was good. It wouldn't have mattered what they would have said. Because the show would have been successful if it was that good. It wouldn't have mattered if Star Wars Theory would have said that the show was bad, that the acting was bad. It would not have mattered. But when you have people like this, right here, calling out a certain Star Wars YouTuber, like we don't know who that is. But when you have that, these underhanded attacks for no reason, that's what causes the divide in the Star Wars fandom. That's what spreads the toxicity within the fandom for no reason. Because then you have threads like this that cause infighting. And it's pathetic and it's ridiculous. Look, as I do with my DC side, I offer out a chance for Jacob to come talk to me. Let's hash this out, guy. Let's hash this out. Let's discuss what your problem is with Star Wars Theory, with the Star Wars fandom. Let's hash this out. Let's decide, or not decide, let's discuss what's going on here. Let's do it. I'm offering up a chance for you to come and talk face to face. Let's figure this out. It's all up to you, man. What is it? J-Ty or J Tim Suggs. I'm terrible with names. J Tim Suggs. Let's go, man. The offer's to you now. Leave Star Wars Theory out of it. You obviously have a issue with Star Wars that you don't really want to talk about because you try to talk positivity about Star Wars. There's a part of me that really thinks that you don't really believe what you say on X. But let me know. what you want to do, man. And for all of you watching, let me know what you think about all this in the comments below. Hit that like button, hit subscribe, share this around. With all that said, I'll catch you all later.